Hello everyone, we're going to see author table command. Author table command is used to change the structure of your existing table. Here we are going to study some common use cases. First one is adding column, dropping a column or deleting a column, then modifying column. After that we are going to study how to rename a column, then adding a constraint to a column, dropping a constraint from your column, and then renaming the table name. Now we are going to study each of these topics in detail. Very first one is add column. We'll see here how to add a single column to an existing table. This is our table and we have this new column and we're trying to attach this column or add this column to our existing table. Let's see how to do that. The syntax for that is alter the table staff members. So this is telling you are going to modify your table and its name is staff member. And what you are going to modify here is in next line. You are saying add a column is manager. So you are writing add a column, then is manager is your table, is manager is your column name and its data type is boolean since it's holding values zeros and one. If you want to change this one and your data is, let's say, suppose integer, you can write integer. And at the end, if you want to see the changes, then you say describe staff members. So this is optional. So very first thing you will do, first you will select the table and then you will display that table. So this statement will execute. Okay, everything looks good. Now let's solve our first question. We are going to add is manager binary column to our table, right? So I'm gonna say alter table staff members, then I will say add column and whatever the column name is manager, and then if it's boolean you just write boolean, right? And let me copy this statement to display the table later. So I'm gonna just execute the statements and later I'm gonna display the table. Okay, is manager column is added with null values. This looks great, right? Here we are going to study drop a column command. Drop column drops a single column, removes a single column from your existing table. Let's say this is your table and you wanna remove this particular column. How you will do that? Again, in your syntax, your first line will be always alter table, then it's your table name. Later you describe what you want to do. You want to drop a column and its name is manager is your column name, and this is optional statement. If you want to see the updates, you can use the describe staff members. Once you execute this statement, it will delete your column. After that, We are going to study here modify column command. If you want to modify a single column in existing table, then you use a modify column. Let's see what are we going to do here. Question number 2, we are going to drop is manager column. So the statement will be, first you will write alter table staff members, then you are deleting this, that's why you write drop column, and then is manager is your name of your column. Okay, execute this statement, it's executed successfully, and then copy this statement and see the results. Okay, your table is deleted, right? Or okay, your column is deleted here. Modify column. If you want to modify a single column of an existing command, then if you want to modify a single column of an existing table, then you use modify column. If you want to use, let's say, if you want to modify a column, then you will use modify column. So if you want to modify a single column of an existing table, then you use this command. Consider this is your table and the salary column is holding decimal values. Now you want to modify that to a integer. We'll see how to achieve this. This is your syntax. In first line you always write alter table and your table name. In second line you say modify column, because you want to modify that column. You write its name, salary is your name, and then what you want to change. You want to make integer from decimal, right? That's why you are writing integer data type. And at the end, this statement is optional. You're describing the properties. When you execute this statement, these particular values, they will be converted to int. Now question number 3 is modify a table column salary, let's say, from decimal to integer. We have decimal values, we need to convert them into integer. How to do that one? Again, you say alter table, and then you say modify column, and then you say salary, and you want that into integer, right? You execute this statement. Okay, looks correct. Now you copy this one and you try to display the table. Okay, this is converted into integer. Change command. If you want to rename the column name of table, then you use change. Let's say this is your table name and you have some columns. Now you want to change hire date to some other name. How you will do that? Let's see. Again you will write your alter table staff member statement, since you are modifying your table, and then you are changing the column name. Change, what's your column name? Hire date, right? Now you want to change to joining date. This is your new name, and the data type was data type, it will be date. and this statement is optional if you want to see the updates. When you execute these statements, the name will be changed to joining date. Let's move to the next question. You're going to rename the table column. How to do that? First, you will again say auto table, staff members. Then you're going to say here change hire date was your column name, and you're going to move to the joining. Okay, you're going to rename change, then hire date was your old name, new name is joining date, and then data type is date. Okay, now let's execute this statement, and I'm gonna say select all the columns from this staff member table and display. Let's see joining date, so it's executed correctly. Now add a constraint. If you want to add some new constraint to your column, then you will use add constraint statement. This is your table, and now you want to add some constraint for joining date. We'll see how to do that. You always write auto table and its name. After that, you will say add a constraint. This will be your constraint name, whatever the constraint name you want to put for this column. So it can be anything. It can be join date constraint, check underscore join date, or anything. It depends on you what you want to change or what you want to put. After that, you write whatever the data type, and you write check keyword because you're applying check constraint, and inside parenthesis you are writing your column name and then the range. This is your starting value and this is your ending value. So you are telling joining date is between 2011 and 2024-11. So this is how you apply the constraint. Once you execute this statement, the constraint will be applied to this particular column. Question number 5, we are going to add the constraint, right? How to do that one? All table staff members, then you will say add constraint. Okay, and then after that add constraint. You want to write some name of that constraint, right? Check, I will say joining date, and I'm going to apply this check constraint on joining date column, and I'm gonna say this is between let's say some date 2000 let's say, okay, and provide the next value of the range. We'll say 2024 01 01. Okay, this looks good, and after that don't forget to put the semicolon, and I'm gonna clear this one. Okay, this executed correctly, right? Now if you want to see the list of these constraints, how you will do that one. So here you will say, let me copy this one. Here you will say select, then you will write your constraint type, your table name and constraint name, and you are saying from. In your information schema, all the information about your tables is stored, and you are extracting that from the table constraint, and you are saying where the table schema, you are mentioning your database name. Once you execute these statements, it will give you list of all the constraints. If you see, these are your primary key, unique key, foreign key, and all other constraints for this particular database. So we recently added this one, ch key joining date, right? This is how you see the list of your constraint. Now if you want to drop the constraint of your column, then how you will do that? Let's say I want to drop the constraint that I just use. Now we will see the syntax. First thing, you will say alter table staff member. This is your always, this will be your always first statement. Then you are dropping your constraint. That's why you say drop constraint. And you need to have the constraint name. On previous slide, we have seen that our constraint name we given was chk underscore join date, so we will use that name here. And once we execute this statement, it will drop that constraint. Now how to drop the constraint? Again you write, then you, instead of add, you say drop, and then you provide the name. I want to delete this constraint, right? And it's gonna be, that's all, right? And if you want to see the constraint whether it's drop or not, you can again show the list of constraint. Let's execute this statement. Okay, it's executed successfully, and I'm gonna copy this one more time here, and I'm gonna see the list of the constraint. Okay, now we do not see the check joining date constraint. That, what does that mean? It's deleted, right? Now rename to, if you want to rename the table, then you use rename to clause. Let's see how to do that. This is your table name, and I would like to change this one, right? How to do that? Your first statement, since you are changing the table, you will say alter table, table name, and then rename to, what is your new name? Here I'm using new name is a staff underscore employees. Once I execute this statement, the new name will be staff underscore employees. Now again, we are going to alter the table name. How to do that one? You just say rename to, and then you say new name of your table employees, right? If you execute this statement, okay, it looks successfully executed. Now check here. You have to refresh this on the left side panel, and your name is changed, right? And if you wanna say select asterisk from and your table name, so this is your new table name. And right, okay, this is our table, right? Staff employees. I will rename this table one more time. Let's say employees goes here. Then I say now let's execute this statement. Okay, again we rename staff members. Everything looks good. That's all for this.